On my journey, one of the hardest things that I had to accept and begin to realize was my strategic advantage was getting help. For so long, I was convinced that I needed to do it alone, go it alone, and make it happen alone. Even in relationship, I still had a mentality of pressing through on my own. And one of the things that has changed over the last couple of years and really has catapulted me to this platform and others is really recognizing that getting help doesn't make me weak. It makes me wise. And as we go into today's topic, I want to remind you that this month is all about getting the gems that are going to make a difference in our life. And that one will make a huge impact if you will let go of pride. Let's get into it. For the longest time, I secretly wanted more. I often found myself shrinking to fit in, settling for what was comfortable, and even selling myself short. Once I finally accepted that we deserve success and we are blessed with the power to achieve it, I stopped playing small. I'm serious about building a life I love, and you should be too. I'm Denise Taylor of DeniseTaylor.live, and welcome to Embrace Your Power. I help women prioritize themselves, their success, and their happiness. Now let's meet this week's achiever whose story will inspire you to embrace your power and go. Well, hey there, it's Denise Taylor. I'm always excited to have you join me every week right here on Embrace Your Power. Now, this is the place where you can count on me to always encourage you to build a life that you love. I believe we're able to do that because God said in his word that he gave us power. He said, I did not give you fear. I gave you power. And when we embrace our power, we can be, do, have, and achieve anything that we want. And that's what I'm showing up to help women do, to build a life that they love. Now, whether you're watching me on YouTube, listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I want you to know that I consider my connection with you a valuable connection. It's one that I look forward to each and every week because you mean the world to me. Now, if we haven't yet made connection, be sure to join me in my free Facebook community. It's easy to find. It's called Embrace Your Power. And even more, if you've been showing up here, make sure you're subscribed and make sure you leave a rating and review. That's the quickest way that other people can learn about the good thing that is happening here. Now, this is the place where I also encourage you with my success superpowers. There's 5 of them and they're easy to remember, but in case you're new, I'm going to play them back. Number 1 is this: see yourself successful. If we can see ourselves being, doing, having, and achieving those things that we want to accomplish, then God can fulfill our hopes and dreams. Number 2 is shake off fear. And I know that fear is absolutely a sensation that we feel anytime we're facing something great and significant, especially what we want deep down within. But I want you to know you shake off fear by walking in faith, and we can stand firmly on faith when we go back to truth. What's the truth? What did God say about us? Well, he says you are great, and I agree with him. Number 3 is do the work. I wish that we could just twinkle our nose and bring that thing to pass. But the reality is we've got to put our hands to work. But it comes with a promise, a really great promise, because God said he would bless the works of our hands. And that promise is one that we can take to the bank. Now, number 4 is take care of you. This is the one that we oftentimes deprioritize when in fact it makes the difference in us being able to sustain our success. We are multifaceted people. There's a lot going on with us, and we need a care plan and strategy for every aspect of who we are, not because we have to have it, because we deserve it. We deserve to prioritize ourselves and make sure that we have a wellness plan that is at the heart of keeping ourselves strong and vibrant. And number 5 is hold fast to your faith. And it's not last because it's the weakest. In fact, it undergirds everything. Our faith is what we stand upon. It is the thing that is going to help make a difference, especially in the days of contradiction. When we are expecting things to go a certain way and they don't, by golly, we rely on our faith to help us hold our course and keep moving forward. So those success superpowers, I believe that when you lock into them, you can bring so much success to pass in your life. Now, I consider myself a success girl. And what that means is I love achievement. I love it because God says that he wants us to do great and mighty things. In fact, he said greater things we would do, which means that we need to aspire and desire to achieve what it is we've been called and divinely encouraged to accomplish. And I want you to go for it. Whatever it is that is within your heart, I want you to know that you can be, do, have, and achieve it. Now, the month of September is dedicated to me dropping some gems that are going to help you be successful. And today, I want to talk a little bit about the importance of incorporating people into your success journey that can help you accelerate progress and success. So here's the thing I know to be true, that partnership will accelerate progress, but strategic relationships will absolutely every time accelerate your success. And for the longest time, the absolute longest time, I was stuck on what I could accomplish and do. Now, some of that was a trauma response. I wanted to prove the point. But here's what has happened for me. I have experienced firsthand what I knew to be professionally true. I have brought people into my life that have helped me to accelerate my progress. And now I know that that same principle that I was professionally putting to work by bringing contractors in to help us achieve our goals and accomplish our projects was exactly the same thing that I needed to bring into my personal life to accomplish success. Now, here's the example, and some of you can relate to this. If your company is undergoing a big initiative and they are trying to get there quickly, the first thing that they do is call in consultants to help. They bring in expertise, they bring in experience, they bring in insight so that they can accelerate that path. I have sat at the table where we brought teams in to help us accomplish great goals. And as I now noodle on that same principle, I began to realize that I could do that for myself. And a couple of years ago, I began infusing the right support and the right coaches and the right mentors into my own life with intention to accelerate my success. And by doing that, I learned this principle that I now share with you. Getting help does not make us weak. It makes us wise. And for the longest time, many of us came from a background of doing it alone when in fact, it is the partnership that makes a difference. So I want you to listen to my conversation today with Sharon Brumfield. I have known Sharon for a number of years now, and I never imagined that I would be her mentor. But as she got connected with Power Play, we have begun to really see how we could accelerate success together. And she hones in on one word that makes a big difference: accountability. Listen to my conversation and hear her feedback about her experience with Power Play. And I'll see you on the other side. So I wanted to bring Sharon to the table. It's so odd for me to call her Sharon because I'm so used to calling her Minister Brumfield or Minister Sharon. But today I am going to stick with Brumfield. I am going to bring Brumfield to the table to talk about her experience with power play. God made connection with us many years ago. And I have been on the sideline watching God do some tremendous things in your life, gifting you with talents and abilities that you didn't know, giving you a platform, allowing you to rise up and serve in such an incredible way. And He has intersected our paths once again here with power play. And so before we jump into your power play experience, why don't you just help everyone know more about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, as Denise said, I'm Sharon Brumfield, Minister Brumfield, several names that I go by. I've been a minister over 15 years now, and I'm married. I have adult children. Wow. When I think about that journey and raising children, but yep, I have adult children. I'm a licensed counselor, certified life coach, a designer, designing clothes. I've been in fashion shows in California, Detroit, New York. I've been all over with my fashions. And so I'm a lover of God. That's pretty much sums it up for me. I'm all about self-esteem, building up women, girls, teens, just about helping people and watching people develop and grow. So that's pretty much all about me.
So it's interesting. Let's anchor in real quick. The self-esteem piece, that is something that you are serving so diligently with now, especially like you said, with almost all ages. Tell us a little bit about how you landed right there.
I've always been about self-esteem because it was something that I struggled with growing up. I tell the story all the time. I was a skinny little girl and I would get teased all the time. And so I just went into this shell and I didn't, push to do things that I knew I could do. I just stayed in this little shell. So when I see other girls having that issue, or I see little red flags that, oh man, they're dealing with some self-esteem issues, I just want to jump right in and help them. And that's how Diamond Streaming Out Loud got started. I wanted to do workshops and things with girls and teens so that they can see that they have value, they have worth. There's things on the inside of them that God has already placed in them. And sometimes our family dynamic doesn't allow us to see those things. Mm-hmm. We grow up in traditional roles, and you do this and you do that. But there's other things inside of us that our parents may not see or may not have the funding to put us in activities and programs to pull out what's on the inside. So that's why I started Diamond Streaming Out Loud, and then it moved into working with women because I'm part of the women's ministry. And that's another thing that's my heart. I see women who are in abuse situations. They are in places where they're under control and they don't know it, Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's how it all started. And it's my passion and something that I love to do. I would always tell people when I'm on fashion shows and traveling, I'm so busy trying to build the women up. They just want to model. I'm there trying to build up their self-esteem. No, don't say you'll wear anything. No, that's not how you go out here. You go out knowing who you are and let them come to you. So it just goes with me wherever I am.
That's so beautiful. And it's been fantastic watching that seed that God gave you with sowing just blossom into so much more. It started off in such a small form, but it grew and grew. And now it's impacting lives and helping women be encouraged and inspired in their own dreams and in their own personalities. And to me, that's pretty incredible. So here we are now, and we're 60 days into this whole power play connection that God brought us back to. And, when I saw that you were going to be a part of this experience, I was reminded of all the touch points that we had over the past and working together and serving together. And I thought, wow, now here is a time for us to reconnect and for me to help usher you on in even more that you're doing now. So tell us a little bit about your experience with power play.
Well, sometimes we get to a place where we think we know everything. We think we've got it under control, but we don't know what we don't know. That's something that my pastor has instilled in us. You don't know what you don't know until it comes into your sphere. Then you say, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's good information. Mm-hmm. So being a coach and being a counselor, we need some assistance as well. We need someone to come alongside of us for those areas that we still may struggle in, even though information may have been a reminder or it may have been new, it's still good information. And if it's a reminder and I'm still hearing it, then apparently I didn't apply it yet. So it's something that I need to work on. And being a part of Power Play helped me see several things. One, I've come a long way over the years. I've learned some things. I've matured in some areas. Some things we talked about, I was like, check that off. I that was good. I got that. But then there were some things that's like, oh, you still need to work on this. That's something that you still are struggling with a little bit. So let's put that one over on this side and keep it on the board so we can work on it. So the information was, it was good. It was helpful. Some was new, some was reminders, but it was all helping me continue on the journey to maturity.
I think one of the things that you called out is really important, especially when we can begin to recognize I've heard this before and there's still something in it for me. There's still a path of growth or maturity with it that allows it to resonate, right? Because I agree with you. We can hear a lot of things. We sit under a lot of sermons. We sit under a lot of teaching, and you're thinking, oh, you're going to tell me this story again. But sometimes it's that new perspective, that new revelation that allows you to receive it differently. And sometimes you are at a different place in your life where the message in the reminder reveals something new that you need to get focused to, develop in, or grow. And so when you think about this experience, help make it real for me. Tell me something that became new to you that allowed you to grow a little bit more.
One thing that I wanted to share was, I'm not sure which session it was. However, it was when we focus, take one thing and work on that. Sometimes we become so busy that I'm over here, I'm over there, I'm doing a little bit here, a little bit there, or I'm doing for everyone else and I'm not focusing in on myself. So I totally applied that to my life and began to rearrange and prioritize things in my calendar. It made me also focus more on putting things in my calendar. That's something that I've been trying to do from the beginning of the year, because I would get overwhelmed with 3, 4, 5 things on one day. So that helped me focus in on prioritizing. And then another thing was the cup being full, or I might be saying it off, but serving out of my overflow. That I've heard countless times, but this time it really focused me to say, yeah, what I'm giving out, whether it's financially, whether it's my service time, whether it's with friends, fun time, all of that, it has to come out of my overflow. So if I don't have enough in there right now, I have to build it up before I can give it out.
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it. And we talked about that a lot, because when you're gifted, and you and I both have the ability to navigate between different things, we could do a lot. Our skill sets are pretty broad, which means that it's very easy to get called upon for a lot of breadth, a lot of different things. And so you're right. Just because we have capability doesn't mean our availability matches up. And when you begin to truly assess, am I really ready to serve in this space? We have to go back to, I still may just have enough for me. And at the point where it begins to overflow is when we can begin to incorporate how we begin to serve others. And so that's an excellent example. One of the things that I was chuckling at as we started rounding things off is how when we started this, it seemed like we had a lot of time. And then when we got to the end, it seemed like it went so fast. How was that 60-day journey for you?
I had challenges with my schedule. And so when I looked at it, I'm like, okay, like I used to do, yeah, that's good. I can do that. But then once I start plugging it into my calendar, I'm like, oh man, I have this, I have that. So I was so glad that you had the replays. I could go into and watch the replay. I can make comments as well on the replay. I can go into the group. And because I missed the conversation with the other ladies, I still was able to give some input in the group. But other than that, it was very good. The information was good. This is what I would say. For someone who really needs accountability, this would be the thing for you, because you made yourself available with office hours. You made yourself available several times a week for the teachings and the lessons. So someone that struggles with setting a goal and then having that month span to get things done on their own, you eliminated that excuse with the office hours and having those 2 sessions pretty much back to back or really close together.
Yeah, I agree with you. The accountability is really important, because when we set out, we have every good intention, right, of doing it. But there is something about the accountability that makes a difference. And so I agree that that is a excellent component of power play. And so I'm just excited about all that is going to happen in all of your lives. So let me ask you this question. What's next for you? Like, where are you headed? What are you doing now that you've had this experience? And what's going to be different as you move forward?
Well, I'm working on a show. I've always wanted to have a show that I could bring people on. We can talk about mental health. I'm all about mental health with the spiritual component. I'm not just about mental health practices on their own. I need God. And so whenever I had mental health challenges, overwhelm, stress, anxiety, anything like that, I was able to have prayer. I was able to call on God. I was able to rely on scripture. So I'm working on this show, and it's bringing that awareness of, it's not one or the other. We can bring those two together, and it will be a powerful experience. And so that's something that I've been working on. I've been able to hone some new skills with recording and editing and things like that. So I'm excited about it, and I'm excited about the guests that will be coming on and sharing their experiences.
Now, listen, I'm with you on that. I believe in therapy and Jesus. I think we need all of that. I believe that he has gifted people to be able to come in and help us get the clarity in the wellness of our mind so that we can move forward. He sent that talent and ability to certain people as gifts, and us tapping into it doesn't take away from our relationship with him. And so I'm so excited about your event. I'll be looking forward to hearing more about it as you move forward in it. And I just want to say it was my pleasure to be able to be a part of your success journey in this way. I enjoyed having you as a part of this experience, and I'm always here if you ever need anything.
All right.
So I really appreciated Sharon's feedback for a number of reasons. The first one is she really reminded me that this journey is laced with accountability, which is huge when you're trying to make progress towards any goal. So even more than empowerment, is the perspective of accountability to your success. The other thing that she reminded me of is how we need to translate information and activate it into empowerment. You see, there are so many nuggets that we can hear at one season in our lives, but when we progress to a new day, a new experience, a new age, we oftentimes can still learn from those messages. And she talked a lot about how things she heard before resonated differently now. And that is the beauty of continuing to be a lifelong learner. We can continue to be inspired and encouraged and even empowered by the messages that we hear. And though they may not be new, they can encourage us to move in a new and different way. And the last thing that I was really encouraged or reminded by partnering with Sharon on her success journey is how coming out of experiences sets us up with new ideas and perspectives of how to move forward. I don't know if you noticed the gleam in her eye and voice as she talked about what's next for her. You see, getting out of the starting blocks, getting out of being stuck, getting out of being unsettled allows you to be renewed with conviction. And that is one of the byproducts of bringing people into your journey. You see, I talked a lot today about this whole notion that getting help doesn't make us weak. It makes us wise. It makes us wise for a number of reasons. One is we bring experience and insight to the table that can help us. And two, it can energize us and allow us to see new ideas and new perspectives that can set us on a course for even more success. That's what I heard from Sharon's encounter with Power Play. That's how I heard it be a game changer for her. Now, I don't know where you are in your journey, but I want you to know that if you feel stuck, if you feel unsettled, or if you just know you need accountability to move forward, that is the exact place where a mentor can make a difference. So I want to be really clear. I want you to know that I understand the assignment of being your mentor just as much as you have a choice and a responsibility to infuse the right type of support into your success journey. I have a role and responsibility to show up and be the best possible mentor for you. So I want to be real clear, because when you establish a mentoring relationship, it is unlike any other. You see, partnerships accelerate progress, but strategic relationships always accelerate success. And that is a key expectation that you should have when you align yourself with a mentor. In addition to that, I want you to know that I understand that it is my responsibility to act and be a role model. For as much as I encourage you to build a life that you love, it is just as important for you to see me doing the same, for you to see me navigating to relationships that empower me and making choices and decisions that really usher me to the life that I love. It's important to see that modeled because it gives space and room for you to do the same. Also, as your mentor, it is important for you to understand that I am invested in your success. You see, your goals become our goals. I am a critical part of your success journey, helping to usher you to all the things that you are looking to achieve, both professionally, personally, and relationally. It is also important for me to give you constructive feedback. Now, this is where iron begins to sharpen iron. You see, I need to show up and give you that guiding direction that rests upon insight and wisdom as well as experience. You should be able to count on that because that is a differentiator to helping to forge you along on your success journey. The other thing that you have a key expectation for is expecting me to coach you, to help you navigate, to help you with your choices and your decision, help you with your processing and reasoning, help you make some decisions that are going to make a difference in your success. I also serve as a sounding board, one that you can come to with your cares and concern and know that it's a safe place for you to share and be empowered. And finally, the last expectation that is key is you should expect me to follow up on your progress, to make sure that you are moving forward. As a mentor, these are key and they make such a difference when you've got the right person on the team of supporting you. I would love to be your mentor officially. You should come closer to your answers. So before we close out, I just want to ask you a couple of questions. I want you to take perspective and think about where you are and where you desire to be. You know, as we close out years and we move into the last few months of every year, we begin to think about what we wanted to start off this year achieving and where are we in accomplishing that. And I want to admonish you to finish strong. But in doing so, you got to be real, open, honest, and clear about where you are right now. Where are you with that dream, with that aspiration, with that goal, with that thing you set out to accomplish this year? Have you made progress towards achieving it? You have to assess for yourself. Have you done the work? What do you need to bring to the table to accelerate your progress and even more, accelerate your success? Maybe the better question is this: how would it make you feel to accomplish those things, to accomplish that goal, to be, to do, to have, and achieve what it is you really want? When I think about where I once was with desires to show up and make a difference in the lives of other people, I now relish in the fact that that is a reality. And I can tell you, by making it a reality, I feel fulfilled. I feel satisfied because it was something that I wanted to achieve. I want that for you. I want you to have a sense of fulfillment and a sense of satisfaction. But the one thing I do know is if we keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, well, that's insanity. So what will be different now? How will you show up different? And how can you begin to really leverage today's wisdom? You see, today's wisdom is getting help doesn't make us weak. It makes us wise. And when we look at so many successful people, they all say the same thing, that getting a mentor made a difference in their success. So how would you feel if you could begin to experience achieving what it was that you wanted? Maybe you'd feel like me. Maybe you'll feel fulfilled. Maybe you'll feel satisfied. Maybe the sense of accomplishment will spur you on to do even more and greater things like it did Sharon. You see, part of this experience is making sure that we don't stay stuck, that we begin to really take advantage of opportunity and experiences and people that can help make a difference in our journey. I love to refer to our journey as a success journey because I know if you rise up and do the work, success is on the other end of your effort. And I would love to be a part of your success journey. And I think if you'll just take a minute and really begin to assess where you are and where you want to be, you'll begin to realize that you can accelerate getting there by bringing the right people on your team. I say it all the time. I would love to be your mentor officially. And I hope that you'll go to my website so that you can learn more about how we can make that relationship officially happen. Well, that's it, beautiful. Thank you for tuning in. Don't ever forget that you are truly blessed with life, love, and all the happiness your heart can hold. Be relentless in building a life you love without apology. I'm Denise Taylor, and you can always find me in our free Facebook community. It's Embrace Your Power. Easy to find. Now be sure to rate and review this podcast and share it with a friend. And make sure you subscribe so that we can stay connected each week. And remember, God has not given us a spirit of fear. He gave us power. So be sure to always embrace your power and go.